Yeah, hi and welcome. Let me enable my shortcuts and then we can start. Let me change this to orange. Okay, there we go. So down here, you see what I'm pressing. Button for mouse is basically my side button. I use this for like pitching and also for rotating. It's better than the middle mouse button for me. Okay, so today we will talk about quality of life. Quality of life in Blender can be something that really helps you and keeps you away from struggling with the interface and brings you in a spot where you can be productive and creative. So, the first question is how we can reach this level. So, the thing is, in Blender there are a lot of shortcuts. Some of them are useful, some of them are not. What I mean with this. So let's say we want to spawn an item, an object. Then we can press Shift A and we get our like simple mesh objects and curves and stuff like this. That's like a really useful shortcut. But sometimes you have a shortcut that's way more too complicated. For example, let's say we want to like bevel this vertices. So I have to press Control, Shift, and B for bevel the vertice. It takes me like 3 keystrokes, and I have to look at my keyboard because I have to like execute them. So I have to like Control, Shift, B is not something that you pull off easily. And there is the thing when it comes to shortcuts. I know most of you are using shortcuts quite extensively. That's okay, I'm fine with this. But there is another perspective you have to have when it comes to Blender, and especially for your keyboard layout. So early in the 2000s or late in the 1990s, there was the Ego Shooter coming up. And what we did back in the days was like getting really fancy with our keyboard layouts. Back in the days, there was like no standard keyboard layouts, so everybody was playing around with WASD. Some of them was like playing in QWERT, like for moving around. It's like up to you how you set this up. But for me as a gamer, my left hand is basically over this area of WASD. So would it not be interesting to have a layout just around this area so that we don't have to like move our other hand that's on the mouse to the keyboard to execute some stuff? For example, let's say I want to change the view. I can do it with numpad, but I have to keep up my hand from my mouse. So another cool thing is that you can rotate your mouse around. And if you hold the Alt button, it will be snipping into the different layouts. That's like also an option to do it. And it's like way more easier to handle. So then we don't need to press the numpad anymore. And that's what I mean. So all of this, what I will show you today, is meant to be optimize your hand movement, okay? And also your field of view. I have a really big monitor. I think it's like 34 inches, something like this. It's pretty big. It's standing right in front of me, so I have to look from left to right. It's like not that I have like a small monitor. And for me, I hate this. When I model or when I'm doing stuff in Blender, I want to keep focused on what I'm doing. And so we need to compromise to bring in stuff right about in our screen to do this. A good way is Pi menus. I know a lot of the guys saying, oh man, go away with Pi menus, I don't like them. The problem with Pi menus is, normally in Blender Vanilla, they are basic Pi menus. Okay, so I'm talking about vanilla, not talking about any add-ons, just like the onboard Pi menus that we have. They are really simplistic and there is like not much into it. But there is an add-on where you can create your own Pi menus. And then it gets interesting, because when you are using other add-ons, they have like a lot of features in it. You can also create customized Pi menus to bring in the feature set. Also, you can change stuff in Blender and make it behave even more natural. What I mean with this, I have this Shift-E Pi menu, what is basically for edges. So what I can do is I can edge crease, I can mark sharp, clear sharp, select sharp edges, I can clear seam, mark seam. So this is a Pi menu that's not in Blender, and it's made with an add-on. I will show you the add-on later. And then there are useful quality of life add-ons. For example, a simple onboard add-on, what is quality of life in a really high level, is the Loop Tool add-on. The Loop Tool add-on, I don't know why Blender did not activate this on default, because this add-on is too good to not be used directly when you install Blender. So what I mean is, let's say we have something like this, and we want to create an cylinder extrusion on top, so it has to be going up. Okay, so how can we do this? So we can use the first option that I was showing you, the Control-Shift-B option, and then when we scroll on our mouse wheel once, then we get a star. Now when we install Loop Tools, we can use the Circleize function, and then we can scale it up, and there we go. There we have our cylinder. It's really good when it comes to something like this. Also, what I really like about Loop Tools is we have like a relax option, what is really good. And so they are basically the two that I'm using. It's relax and curve, circle. Curve is also really interesting, but there is a better add-on, what I will also show you in a minute. Okay, so that's what I mean with quality of life. It helps you to provide you the feature set that you need when you need this. So what I can do, for example, I can make an option and bring in the Circleize option. So I did this. There we have it. So I have a Pi menu with options that I can use where I don't have to click right click, because then I have to go into other menus and it takes me time. Also, the quick menu that you have in Blender is basically the entry level to this. So the quick favorite menu can you provide with stuff that you need when you do this. So you have like different ones. So you have like one that is like on edit mode, and it's basically changing in intelligently in which mode you are. Okay, so this is quality of life. Quality of life means you don't have to look around, you don't have to search. So let's come to two main add-ons that I'm used to this, and then I will show you a bit more. So this one is more like an in-depth guide how I work and give you an idea how you can do this. The first add-on what we have to learn, or what I was learning, is the Machine Tools add-on, because Machine Tools for modeling is really, really good. It provides you with a lot of stuff that it's basically, yeah, how can I say this? It's like a no-brainer to use this. The problem is, if you change something, if you go for quality of life, that means you also have to change your behavior when it comes to Blender. So standard in Blender, when we're pressing tab, we're going into edit mode. When I'm pressing tab, I get a pie menu here. This pie menu gives me a lot of solutions. So I can basically go into face mode, vertex, edge. I can go to object mode. I can change the occlude, so I can make it transparent. I can enable auto merge. I can go to sculpting. Everything in one little pie menu. And this is the machine tools pie menu. So why the question comes, okay, what is with the 1, 2, and 3 key? Yeah, they are gone. Okay, so that means on 1, 2, and 3, I have other options now, and I have to relearn this. At first, I was really struggling with this because it changes the way how you work in Blender. Normally, I'm not a fan about this, but the feature set behind 1, 2, and 3 that are now there are too good to not be used. Okay, it's too easy to use them. Okay, so let's talk about them. So what you can do, let's start with the 1 key. So to change, I have to use my pie menu instead of 1, 2, and 3, and I'm doing it naturally. Also here, you see like the little numbers behind this. That means you can also go into the pie menu, press 4, and you get the vertex selection, or you can press 6 and get the face selection. You cannot change this. This is a really downgrade in Blender. I will try to explain why it looks like this, because it's like from the numpad itself. So if you look at your numpad, you see 8 is cursor up, and that's because there is an 8. I really hope that Blender will at some day give us the option to change this. So then it's like really easy. You can press tab and then 1, 2, and 3, and then you have it again. This is like really bad. I don't know why they did not change it. Okay, so the first option that we have at 1 is if we select an edge vertex, we can press 1 and get our bevel tool. So this is basically what we have when it comes to Control Shift B. It's under 1, and that gives me a really easy advantage because I have to only press 1 key instead of 3 and basically crack my fingers. The second option that we have is if we select 2 vertices, we can merge them. So it's like merge at last. That means the last selected object will be marked, and there it will be merged. The second option is Shift 1 merges in the middle. Now, so you can say, okay, yeah, but the one option, you can do it with Alt M, and then you can press Shift R to recall the last operation. Yeah, you can do this, but when it comes to difference, so let's say we make this like 1 and this one Shift 1, then you have to go into your options again. So you have to press M and then at center and then again M and then at last and so on. Okay, so this one is in this case way faster. So you can press Shift 1, 1, Shift 1, 1 and going back and forth, back and forth. Then there is another option. I'm not using this so much. It's Alt 1. Alt 1 works like merge stuff in a pattern. So for this one, we can also enable auto merge. I will show it really quickly. So I can enable auto merge, select these edges here, GG, move them up, and they are merged up here. Okay, a really quick solution, but I have to change and switch stuff. Sometimes you don't want to change the mode, so they bring in an alternative. How it works is really simple. Think about we want to merge these 4 vertices here, so this one to this one up to here. So how it works is I will select the first vertex, jump to the last vertex, select this 2, then I go up and then I go back. Okay, it's a U-turn basically what you do, and you select them piece by piece. So you can select with Control click, with Shift click, I'm sorry, and then you press Alt N and it will be all merging up. Okay, so this is really cool if you're in vertex mode. Sometimes you are, most of the time I would say, when you merge stuff together. And then it's really handy when you have this option without changing the mode and changing the structure itself with like auto merge and stuff. So now we know we have like 4 different features on one key, because it's like determining on what we select. So we can select 1, then we get like the bevel. We can select 2, then we get merge. Shift 1 is merge in the middle, and then we have Alt 1 to merge a pattern. And all in our hand behavior. Okay. So let's change to, or let's go to edge mode and show you the 2 key. Because the 2 key in edge mode has different options. But there is one other option when it comes to vertex mode. I want to show it because then I can switch. Okay, so if you press 2 in vertex mode, you get the knife tool. Okay, so you can press 2, hold the shift key, and basically cut really easy around. A really handy tool when it comes to like adding structures and stuff like this. Okay, now let's go to the edge mode. So what I can do here, 1 has no option, but 2 can rotate edges. This is also built in a Blender called Rotate Edge CV. And you see I have also like set up a shortcut here. I will explain why. So we can not only rotate 1, we can rotate up to 3. Why not 4? Because 4 has another option, and that's why it's not in there. So, but if you want to rotate more, you can press or can set up a shortcut, and then you can rotate up to, I don't know, infinity. So that's why I'm using Shift Alt 2. But normally you don't need this. So you can go like this and then like this, and you see how fast I get like in a loop around my stuff. Okay, so why is it there for what I'm using it? I was already showing it, spoiling it. So you can change the edge flow. So the edge flow is now jumping around this. I'm looking at this more like in, you know, the little pipe games that we was playing in our childhood, where you have to like make the water flow, or like a laser crit, something like this. It's like basically the same. It's a mirror. So if there is a light beam and that's our little edge loop coming in, it will be deflecting and going into the other direction. Okay. So every time you change this, it will be going around and around and around. Okay, so you can change this like however you want, and you will change the edge flow of your object. Okay, so this is the first option of the 2 key. The second one, I use this quite a lot when it comes to unwrapping, is when you have a pattern selected. So it works in 2 ways. You can select an edge loop like this and press 2, and it will be selecting the inner part. Or on the other way, you can select a pattern in face mode and can press 2, and then you get a border selection. So it works in 2 ways, and that's really cool. And that's the 2 options I'm using on the 2 key. Now for the 3 key. The 3 key is my lifesaver. So normally when you start with Blender, you have like really, it's like really problematic for you to understand what face orientation is. Face orientation means if I flip a face, you can basically think about this is like a box, like a milk box. And inside we have like the aluminium foil, and outside we have like our padding. And this is the same. If I'm turning this, the aluminium foil will show off. And this is like meant to be because we want to have boxes where we can look inside, and maybe it's like only a room what we want to see, and on the outside there is nothing, so we will turn the face instead of making it solid. Okay, there is no solidness. Normally what we think is that's like a solid object, it cannot be hollow, but it's 3D and there it is hollow. It's like only a mesh grid around this. Okay, so there are different problematic stuff. What's going on? The first thing is the extrusion and the canceling. It's still there. Okay, that means when you canceling an extrusion with escape, you have double vertices. Then we have this face orientation problem. So what this means is it's turning the face. I will make it like a bit more visibility with like face orientation. Here you see this face is flipped. And then we have some other problems. So for example, we have a vertice duplicated and it's flying in outer space. So the tree key is a cleanup key. Tree means if I'm pressing tree, all of the stuff is gone in one click. I don't have to recall all operation at once. It's like all in there and it's really well done, really well placed together. Okay, so we have removed double, loose, redundancy. We have recalculation normal maps, so we can flip them. If you enable this, all will be flipped. And also, after we do this, we can have a checker if we have an n-gon in there. So when I'm pressing this again, I can go for n-gons, for example, and it will be selecting me the n-gons after I'm doing this. This is really cool when it comes to quad topology and game ready stuff. Then this will really help you to like identify stuff that don't have to be there. Okay, but there is another option. I love this tool when it comes to games because games try to have at least polygons added gets. So that means if we have an object, we want the topology as efficient as it can be. And if you think about this, so let's select everything and let's triangulate the faces. So we can go for triangulation. And now if we look at the face count here, we have like, let me enable this. Statistics. So we have now 192 faces. Okay, that's a lot. That's really a lot. That means when we optimize something, we get less faces. So let's undo this again and let's press 3. So in here we have an option with edges. If I'm clicking this, all it's gone. Why? Because this edges says it's on nearly 180 degrees. So that means if I have changed anything slightly in this, it will be not removing this edge. Okay, so let's do it again. And let's say I have this edge line here and I move it slightly up. Like this. Now when I'm pressing 3, everything is gone instead of this edges because they are changing basically the topology. And that means they stay. But that creates n-gons. But in games, that's not bad because it's a static object. It will not deform, so I can have it like this. Okay? Let's go to this one. Let's go to this object and check this out. Okay, so this is all quads, nearly all quads. Here are no connections. But when I'm pressing 3, I get basically an optimized version of this, and that's totally fine. I can live with this. So now when I'm triangulating this, it's like way more efficient than before. Okay, so this is a really good option when it comes to clean up stuff and make it game ready. Okay, so that's the 3 key. Now to the 4 key. And let's talk about this one. So the 4 key has the option that we can isolate stuff. Let's get in the quad sphere. It's easier. Okay, so let's say I want to isolate this area into another object and go into object mode, into edit mode again. So normally what we do is Shift D, duplicate this, P, selection to separate this, going out of edit mode, selecting the object, going into edit mode again. A lot of stuff that we have to do. Okay, so how it works with machine tools is you press 4 and there you are. Okay, so it's like a really well shortcut to a command line that you use in Blender. It's way faster and way more efficient. This one I don't use it so often, but it's like really easy because when I want to use it, I can isolate stuff really quickly and work on it. Okay? And that's only like 1, 2, 3, and 4. You see how much stuff there is behind this add-on, and it's really, really complicated. So now I was teasing you this with this add-on. Now I will show you how you get this. Link is in the description. Click on it. Then what you get, let me quickly do it by myself. Let's go GitHub and machine tools. And if you like travel to this page, what you have to do is go under code and download the zip file. Okay. Then you go into your Blender, you go to edit, preference, add-ons, install, select the download folder where you was like downloading this. Please don't unzip the zip file. It has to be a zip file. Blender will basically unzip by itself. Okay. You select the file and then you install the add-on. What's happening then is it looks like here the scatter add-on, and then you have to activate this and save the preference. Okay. Then you get something like this. And this is like one of the times where you have to make the window really big. So it has a lot of shortcuts and it has a lot of stuff in here. So how it works is you can enable this. I highly recommend you to enable this piece by piece. And if you do this, you can basically learn the add-on. There is some help here, documentation, where you can look into this. I also did not know like everything of this, but like I would say like 80%-ish that you can use. Okay, so, and then it will take you like a month. For me, it was like a month. I mean, I'm like an old man, but I was taking a month to like learn all this stuff and enable this step by step by step. Up here you have the tools, down here you have the pie menus. I will come to the pie menus now and explain. And also here you have the key map, so if you want to change something in a better order, you can use this here. Okay, so to the pie menus. The first one is this one. It's like really clear. So you have like your Modpi menu. You use this for like switching around. And it's like really easy to use this. This is the first one. The second one is the Control S one. That's basically the save pie menu where you can open save and clean your plant file. Also what's really handy is the incremental save. So if you work on a project, you can incrementally save with this one. Really cool. Also, import and export for OBJ and FBX. It's like the most common file format where you import and export with. Okay, so and then there are more. So there is, for example, this. Let's look at this. I have to like look at this again. So, for example, we have the line pie menu. I will come to this in a minute. We have a snapping pie menu, a cursor origin pie menu. All of the stuff you find this here. So it's like switch between tools and focus and stuff like this. You see this already here, how it works. So what we have here is like, for example, the Save Pie menu. We have the Shading Pie menu. This one I will show you too. The Line Pie menu, the Cursor Pie menu, and so on and so on and so on. There is a lot of like stuff in there. Okay, so the Set menu is like really cool. I was changing this. Normally there is another menu, but I was changing this to Set because the Set button had with the Pie menu the same setup. So here we can change between wireframe, rendering, and material, and up here we get additional stuff. And this is really cool. We can change our matte caps, for example. We can enable, disable auto smooth, and so on. So you have to look at this a bit more into it, that you see what you can do. Also interesting is with this one, it's changed when you change from solid mode to texture mode. Let's go out of here. Press that again. So now we get like our different HDRIs. We get like the EV settings and also like additional stuff here. Okay. And this is it's meant to be for EV. There is no really let me show you what I mean. There is no really an cycles menu. I really hope that he is like changing this at some time, but there is like no much like settings here. We can't switch from GPU to CPU and rendering. I really hope that he is like make it like a bit bigger, and then add like something like report denoising, and the sampling stuff will be like not the sampling stuff, the light path stuff will be also really great to have it in there. Okay, so this is this menu, and now let's come to another tool, to the Line Pie menu. Initially, I was like installing this add-on because of the line tool. So there is a misconception when it comes to Blender. I will explain this. So let's insert this, extrude this, insert this, extrude this out. So let's say we want to level out this face down here. Normally what you do in Blender is you enable your magnetic tool, you go to vertex, then you go to vertex mode, then G set, and then snap to this vertex. I think we don't need to be in the vertex mode. Let's try it now. So you can also do it in every other edit mode thing. And then we snip this down, but we have to change stuff up here. So we have to move our mouse. The Line Pie menu with the Line Pie menu, it's easier. So what you have to do is like select an vertex or an edge or an face down here, because we need like an information where we want to move it down. And then you press Alt A and go to the button. And that's really cool because it's really fast. Okay, so let's make a new cube and let's show you something. Let's say we have something like this. To make it really simple, let's say we have something like this. It's out of the line, out of control, but we want to bring it back. So what we can do is like we can use this tool to our advantage, to bring it down and level it out again. So there we go, it's a cube again. So it's a really helper when it comes to fixing stuff. Also, what I really love about this add-on is, let's say we want to bring in an edge loop here and move it to the side. Blender is intelligently and place it like in the same order here, but sometimes we want to level this out evenly. So, and that's problematic, because we can't do it, but okay, so Alt A to the right, and there it is. It's really easy to level out and fix stuff with the Line Pie menu. And then we have this, the last one, what is like really important is the Shift S Pi menu. The Shift S one is really cool when it comes to our pivot point. So this green little dot here in the middle is our pivot point. So if you rotate our object, it will be rotating around this point. But sometimes you want to set it up on an edge because you want to rotate this around this. Think about rotating a door on the holding things on the side. So we have like a door like this, and then we have like our little stuff here where it's like holding, and it's like rotating around this area here and not in the middle. Okay. And so what we can do is we can go into edit mode, selecting an edge and face or vertice, and we press Shift S and to edge. Now when I'm going out, I can rotate this around exactly this point. And this is really, really cool because this gives you a lot of options. Also, this point works pretty good when it comes to mirroring, because when I'm now mirror around this point, or I mirror this object, it will be mirroring around this point. Okay, so when I'm going to mirror, I can basically say, yeah, let's mirror around this point, and it will be like mirroring around there. Okay, so you can do like really interesting stuff with this. There are two more add-ons that I'm using for such stuff. There is the Pivot Transform add-on, and then also Hardops, because Hardops has a really cool option. Let me quickly show you what I mean. Say we have something like this, Control-Shift-B. And now what I can do is I can set up my pivot point on this face with face. But the problem is here you see that the pivot point is something like messed up. So with Hardops, what I can do is I can go to Hardops. Let's first select the face. Going to Hardops, and then I can say, let's see where it is. Oh no, is it Hardops? Has to be. Operations, no. Oh, I have to do it in object mode. I'm stupid. Okay. Mesh tools, set origin, and then I have like an option where I can say I did it wrong. I can basically hold my mouse button and say, okay, set up the pivot point up here, and you get like the orientation and stuff like how you want to have it. And then you can use the mirror tool again to mirror it like on the right spot. Okay. So that helps. This helps. And so yeah, you can play around with this and test it out. If you have Hardops, I not like want to make an advertisement video, but yeah, that's like the two add-ons what I'm using for this one. Okay, so that was machine tools. So this is one really big part when it comes to my modeling stuff, because it's a quality of life add-on, like I said before. And it's really bring in the feature set on your WASD area. The other thing what I want to show you is the add-on Pi Menu Editor. So this one, the Pi Menu Editor, is a paid add-on. It's like round about 12 euros, I think, or 14. What it does, let me show you. It's like one of the best add-ons I know. There it is. It looks like a bit complicated, but it's not. So how it works is, let's say we want to make a new Pi menu in custom one. So we can make a new Pi menu here. We can set it up like what we want to do. There is way more into this. So you can also do macro operators and modular operators. And it has way more options that we can bring in. We also can make a regular menu if we are preferring something like this. And Yeah, but let's first go with the Pi menu. Okay, so I make a new Pi menu, is popping up here, and then I can rename this. Let's rename this like tutorial. Tutorial. That's right. No, it's not. No, it is. Okay, so oh, I have already one. Interesting. Okay, so let's remove this. And rename this again. Okay, so now we have set up our Pi menu, but we have to set up a keystroke. This is like really funky because it's like a bit of hidden. So here what we can do is we can say, for example, Control, Shift, and then A. Okay, so it's like Control, Shift, A. CSA means Control, Shift, A. Okay. And then we have our options here. So now what I can do is, if I'm pressing that's not what I want. Let's make it small. When I'm pressing Control Shift A, I get my Pi menu, but nothing is in there. So let's say I want to add something. Let's go into face mode, select the face. Then we can go up here and see what we have here. For example, we have an intersect Boolean operation. Okay, so that's interesting. Okay, let's add this. So right click on this. Down here we have Pi menus editor. We can add this to tutorial and we can set a direction. Now when I'm pressing Control Shift A, I get the Boolean intersect tool and I can basically make my Boolean operations with this. And that's it. It's really easy. So you can add any operation you want. Also, you can add operations from other add-ons to bring in there. So let's go for like Maxi, we said interactive tools. Right click on this, Pi menu, add, and then to the side. So now when I'm pressing this again, I have my wireframe toggler here, and I can basically enable and disable this. Okay, really easy. And it's really easy to set this up. Also, you can save the stuff out. Okay, let's go back. So you can export your Pi menu add-ons, your Pi menu stuff, and import it again into the tool for saving. And also there is a lot more, but that's basically what I mean. And then you can also like selecting items here. So for example, I go with color most of the times because for me it's like easier to know. And then if I'm pressing this again, god damn it, not again. If I'm pressing this again, you will see I get like red and blue. So I can identify this really quickly and can set this up. So this add-on is for me an absolute lifesaver because I can, if I have like a new tool, let's say I learn a new add-on, for example, Mesh Machine, and I want to make my own menu, I can basically really easy do this with my Pi menu add-on and compress stuff into a Pi menu where I have like the most used options in there. Also, there is another add-on what I want to show you. That's a really small one. I will bring in the Pi menu editor link for Blender Market in there. And also like the last one that I will show today is the set flow add-on. So let's say we have something like this. And if we control click, we can basically extrude, okay? And now I want to set up the curvature for this. So this is problematic because at first we have to fix this area here because we was like moving this around. So let's do this really quickly with the machine tools add-on. So I can bring this to the side. And maybe also I can say, okay, let's bring them to the top. that we have something like this. That was maybe not a good idea. Maybe let's say bring this one down here. That looks better. Okay, so now for the curvature. I can select the loops here. So this one. And I was like Alt and Shift Alt like loop selecting. And now when I'm going for the set flow is down here in your right click option, you can set the flow. And what it does, it's like interpolating between, so make an interpolation, and this works wonders. I really love this. So you can really quickly set the flow option object and make it like you want, like round like you want. Keep in mind, don't select the last one. So let me extrude the down part here. And let's set this up correctly. So let's go into edge mode. Let's bring this to the side. Let's bring this to the side, and let's bring this down. Also this one. Okay, so I did this because I want to have it like normally set up. So and then we do it again. And we set flow again, and then we get a good rounding. And this is like really cool. If you do like handle and stuff or ornament stuff, it's like really cool. Also, when you're modeling and you want to like an organic curvature, it's a really good tool. It really helps me a lot when it comes to set up curvature correctly. Also, when it comes to cylinders, because sometimes, let's show this really quickly too. Sometimes you have something like a cylinder and there is something misplaced. Maybe we are on hard surface modeling and we have something like this and it's like not in the right shape. And to bring this back again, if you're going ahead, it's like sometimes really complicated. But with the edge flow add-on, with the set flow add-on, it will be perfectly setting this because it looks like in the nearby two edges and interpolate this. It's a really cool add-on. I really love this and it really helps. So that was 3 add-ons today. I basically scrapped on the surface of machine tools and also on the surface of Pi Menu editor, but the thinking behind this, I will bring it to your knowledge. I hope that you find this useful. And yeah, we will see us the next time when it comes to the next explanation video where we'll show you how my workflow is like working. Thank you for watching and till the next time.